Hi there, I'm Jennifer Elizabeth Masters, and today we're going to be talking about boundaries and the importance of them. Now, they sound like they're a little bit ominous, and some people may feel like they don't want to set boundaries. And I used to be one of those, and I can certainly understand. So, I would love to hear what issues you might have with setting boundaries. And do you have an issue? Are you afraid to set boundaries? Perhaps, perhaps you've had boundaries crossed for yourself. So I am going to be just 1 second. And I had something happen today when I was in town. I was talking to a lady with a dog, and it was really interesting because I had already decided to do this thing on boundaries, and on my timeline, there we go. So what happened was I was talking to this lady with a dog, and she had a German Shepherd, a really young and beautiful German Shepherd, and and this woman came up from behind the dog, and didn't ask, and she just pet the dog, ruffled the dog's fur like this, and I could see the owner getting a little bit concerned because she didn't know how her dog was going to react. So there's a couple of other things that could happen. Hang on, let me just see. So here's the thing. People that don't have good boundaries are going to cross other people's boundaries. And how can you tell when somebody's crossing your boundaries? Well, typically you get upset. You might get angry. And often what happens is you don't want to make unpopular decisions. You want people to like you and love you. You may have difficulty making unpopular decisions with your kids. That was really hard for me. When my children wanted to do something and I knew we either didn't have the money to do so, or it was going to be too taxing for me after a day of work, or it was just too much chaos, too many activities, and I would say yes when I really meant no. So if you say yes when you really mean no, and you do it a lot, then you could have an issue with boundaries. So I really would love to hear from you. How do boundaries affect you? So here's a couple of ways you can tell. So if you are in a grocery store and perhaps you see, maybe you've got a little baby and somebody comes up to your baby and touches the baby, like touches the face or touches the baby's hands. And you're like, whoa, you could have germs, you could have some disease. So one of the things that I would say, you don't ever touch another person's dog without asking first. So that is an idea for you. So you don't touch someone else's baby without saying, may I talk to your child, or may I touch your child? Don't ever just assume it's okay, because maybe it's not okay. Here's another one. If you've been pregnant and you've had some stranger come up and touch and rub your belly, that person had no boundaries. This is your personal space. We all have a personal bubble. And if someone comes into your personal bubble and touches you, this happened to me recently. Someone touched my necklace. Now, I cleanse my jewelry. I put it in salt water so that it's nice and clear. The energy is clear. So I don't like people touching my jewelry. I spend a lot of time. Hi, Angie. Nice to see you. I would love to hear from you what issues that you've had with others and boundaries. How do boundaries, do they, or do you have a challenge with boundaries? Or have you had people cross your boundaries? So, hello, Angie. How are you? Nice to see you. We're talking about boundaries tonight. And I'm just wondering, what way are you impacted by boundaries? Do you have a hard time saying no when you mean no? Do you say yes when you mean no? That's one way. Or do you have other people cross your boundaries? So, here's something else is that, when our personal reactions involve criticism or disrespect, or you feel like you're being interrogated by someone is asking you personal questions, maybe about how much do you make, how much do you charge, and how much do you make a year? Oh, those are personal questions. Or perhaps you're dating someone and they bond too quickly. They get attached too quickly. I've heard of some gentlemen that within the first month of dating a young lady that she wants to move in already. And there's a lot of issues there, but boundaries are one of them. And let's see, maybe you tell secrets that you wish you didn't. Or do you have a hard time getting off the phone when you want to? And here's the biggie is, whoopsie, did you have your boundaries crossed as a child? Because if you did, if you, like me, had your boundaries crossed as a child, then it's a real challenge, and it could be a lifetime challenge for you to have healthy boundaries. So what is a healthy boundary? Well, a healthy boundary means that you may be asked to do something. Maybe someone asks you, hey, Jennifer, I know you do healing. Could you go to this hospital in Pasadena and do a healing on my friend for free? Or could you babysit my child for me while I go to, some other country? Or how about this one? And this happened with a client of mine. Her mother-in-law asked to take her 3-year-old child to another state to visit family. And there's a lot of issues with that. She's concerned about her child's safety. She's concerned that it's too many days away from her. She's concerned the child's going to be up way later than he's used to. He's only 3. And when he comes back, it's late on a Sunday night when he's got preschool the next day. So she's wishing she had said no. She said yes, and now there's drama about it. So when we don't have boundaries, there is a lot more drama. When we don't tell our children no when we mean yes, or yes when we mean no, we're going to have more issues with our children. And, when I had my kids and they were growing up, it was often that my oldest would ask me if I gave him a timeout or if I grounded him. He would keep on asking, could I please be excused from this? Could I please get to do this? He would beat me down. And finally, I would change my mind because I wanted so badly to be loved. I didn't like making those unpopular decisions. It was hard for me to say no to my children because I wanted to be loved. Maybe you're like me. I have a couple of clients that have a real issue where the dad is the one that has a really hard time saying no to his son. And the mom is the one that is always the bad guy because she's the one that sets the ground rules. She's the one that says, no, you have to do this first. You have to do these chores first. You have to take care of the dog. You have to walk the dog, whatever the issues are. But the dad is giving in without all of those criteria being met. So when one person is saying one thing and another is saying another, the kids don't know what to think. and there's definitely issues in the relationship. So when we have healthy boundaries and we're able to express ourselves, speak our truth, say what it is we want without yelling, screaming, or having a temper tantrum, then we get our needs met. And if we are like a deaf mute, and I mean no disrespect, but if we are mute and we don't speak our truth and we assume that the other person is going to know what we want, we're not going to have our needs met. So I've got a couple of suggestions and solutions. And we talked about when others don't have healthy boundaries, they're going to cross ours. And so we need to be able to say, I cannot do that right now, or no, I don't want to join your club, or no, I don't want to send you $1,000, or whatever it is, we have to be able to say no and feel okay about it. So it doesn't matter if we're single, married, have children or not, don't have children, boundaries could be challenging at first. Hi, Terry. Nice to see you. Terry and I went to the same high school in Ontario together. Terry is an awesome musician. It's nice to see you. So, Terry, we're talking about boundaries. So, what I'd love to hear from you is what are some of the issues that you've had with boundaries? Sometimes it's somebody coming into our personal space. With this Me Too movement, a lot of things are coming out into the open. How often have you had a male person, could be any sex actually, stand too close, touch you inappropriately, and make you feel uncomfortable? That is having your boundary crossed. There's lots of ways we can have boundaries crossed. So how can we create healthy boundaries? Well, one way is to not tell everything. I coach people that are dating, and recently I heard a gentleman, his girlfriend, I really would like to see you with dark hair. Well, that's her personal body, and really nobody has a right to ask for you to change or alter your appearance. And so this is, which I said to him, she has the right to wear her hair however she wishes to. Of course you can say, I loved your hair when you were blonde, but it's up to her if she wants to be blonde. And so trying to control someone else, that's not healthy either. So keep some information private. Don't tell everybody everything. And certainly when you meet somebody, if you're just dating, you don't want to have to give 100% of your life story, or, just tell them a little bit. So this way we don't have to course correct or shut down, when we feel like we've revealed too much. And the same thing with family members, church members, or your children. Be selective about what you talk about. If your partner and you are having issues in your relationship, you don't have to share all these details with your mother or your best friend or your father or even your children. So think before you answer somebody's question when it's too personal. And you can always say, I'd rather not talk about that. It's kind of personal. And that's okay. Just, it's okay to say that. So I'm going to go back and reiterate, when we don't feel comfortable saying, no, I don't want to talk about that, it's because we have this need to be loved or liked, and we have to feel good enough about ourselves to be able to have healthy boundaries. So I'm going to go on and give you a few more tips about what to do. Take care of your needs. If you're too tired to do something, say so. I would love to go on a hike with you, but can we do it another day? I'm just too tired to do it today. Doesn't mean you have to get pissy or angry. Get to bed at a reasonable time. Eat a healthy diet. These are all really good ways to take care of our physical body and our personal needs. And those things are really important. You might stay up too late to be with your partner when you should be going to bed. at a reasonable time. So those are healthy boundaries too. Maybe you've got a project or you've got work to do, and your friends want you to go out, you're partying or something, and you've got to be able to say, I have got to get this project finished. I've got to study. I have to take care of my newsletters. So nurture yourself, take care of you. Communicate your needs in a positive way. And you know, most people don't know what is up here, what we're thinking, what we're feeling, or how tired we are. And don't expect your loved ones to read your mind. Do so in an upbeat and positive way, as opposed to, like I said, getting angry, bitchy, or pissy with them. But be specific about what you want. So here's some suggestions. I would love to do that with you, but right now I need some alone time. Can we do that on Saturday instead? I'd love to spend some time with you too, but first I need to have some me time. I would be glad to discuss this with you if you'll be respectful and polite. You know, maybe you're talking to an angry teenager who's swearing and yelling at you. Well, unless they're being respectful and polite, don't have the conversation. Put your foot down. I appreciate your opinion, but I need to experience this myself. Oftentimes, and I had this recently, my mother says to me, "This better be your last move." I laugh because it's my life. I know what's good for me. It's your life. You know what's good for you. So I know that I'm in the right place for me at the right time, because all kinds of miraculous events are happening all around me. I just got invited to do a podcast with a shaman I met today on the sidewalk in front of a health food store. I know things are happening this way because I'm in the right place. So saying to someone else, thank you very much, I appreciate you offering, but you can't do this for me. So does anybody have any feedback, any things that you've experienced? I'd love to hear from you about the kinds of issues that you've had with boundaries. Now, Terry, you've been a musician all your life. Have you had women throw themselves at you and you've had to say, excuse me, but I'm married, you're very attractive? How do you handle that, Terry? I'd love to hear from you. So here's another one. Both of our time is valuable. I need you to be on time for dinner out of respect for me. I've got a little story for you. I dated a gentleman in Georgia, and he was late, always. For my birthday, I think he arrived 4 hours late. So when someone is disrespecting you, they don't have respect for themselves either. But we've got to have healthy boundaries. It's funny because he asked me recently, so why are we not dating? Why did we stop dating? And I said, well, you were late all the time. And he said, well, I was working. I said, it doesn't matter. You know, there are certain boundaries. So if dinner is at 7, you show up at 7. You don't show up at 11. And that happened repeatedly with him. He apologized, but he had no idea he was doing it at the time. Okay, so to your children, I love spending time with you. And I'll play this game with you for 1 hour. And then after that, I have to go get my blog written. Or after that, I have to go study for my exam. Or after that, I have a client. So you say, this is what I will do. And then after that, I have to go do what I need to take care of. So when you feel someone is being intrusive, over-friendly, or meddling, you can cool towards them. Spend less time with them. You know, if a subtle change in your energy doesn't do it, then you might have to get your point across in a different way. You know, instead of being open and warm, cool down. Change your tone of voice. You know, if body language and tone don't work, use words to excuse yourself. Please excuse me, I'm visiting with friends right now. Or, if your words don't get your point across, leave. You can always, if it's a friend that is overstepping your boundaries, then you can stop being friends with them if it doesn't work for you. Okay, so here's another one. Stay calm. Yelling at someone, and let me just say, if you haven't been establishing boundaries for some time and you just are beginning, it may feel uncomfortable at first, and that's okay. This discomfort is because you're exhibiting and changing behavior. When we change our behavior, we've been used to doing things a certain way in the past, being mute, not speaking our truth, not talking about what it is we need, and not saying no. So when we shift behavior, it may be a little scary at first because you want so badly to be loved. But who do we have to love first? It's you. You have to love you first. I love me first. I take care of me. You take care of you. Okay, so let's see. So don't overreact. Don't be demanding or pleading that someone not crosses your boundaries. And you don't have to be emotionally entwined with the other person. You can control how you react with the situation. So eliminate, and I have a client that just started with me yesterday, and one of the issues that she has, she's such a nice person. And what I will tell you about people who are really nice is they usually don't have boundaries. And so this person gets, all the complainers come and they unload all their negativity on her. Oh, this person is such a, and she's doing this and she's doing that. And then the other person comes and she unloads her stuff. And this woman has had such a hard time with this because she can't say, please take your complaining elsewhere. I don't want to hear it. So if somebody is gossiping to you, that's a negative energy. It's putting and dumping crap in your field that you don't need or want. Do not talk about other people to me. I really don't want to be part of that conversation. I'd rather thing to do. So I don't like to gossip. So you can say those things. And you could say to someone, I'm sorry those things are happening in your life right now. Would you like some feedback on how to change it? And if they say no, then you say, well, then please don't bring your problems to me if you don't want my help, because I really don't need the negativity. Thank you. And they may get upset. That's okay. That's their problem, not yours. Just be kind. Or you could say, I have so much going on right now, I don't have time to talk. I have this to get done. It usually happens in the workplace. But respect yourself and those you are with. Avoid public arguing, avoid demeaning criticism, and if you're being disrespected, be prepared to leave a public place. Arguing in public is disrespectful, and anybody that says F you, that, they're called fighting words, and especially if they use the F word to a child, that is illegal. If you check most of the state and provincial laws, you'll find that swearing at a minor is illegal, and it's considered fighting words. So allow your children to have their personal space. So just like you want to have boundaries, your kids need to have healthy boundaries too. Touching them inappropriately, kissing them in public when they don't want to be kissed is crossing their boundaries. So don't do that either. So we have to have healthy boundaries, but also allow others to have theirs. So children need to establish their healthy boundaries early. And I remember, and maybe you all do too, oh, go kiss your grandpa, go kiss your grandma. And I was like, ooh, they smell bad. I don't want to kiss them. Go kiss your uncle, and you know that he's a groper. And you don't want to get that close to your groping uncle, and you're a child. So don't make your kids kiss other people when they don't want to. That's not appropriate. Okay, so let's see. So without respect, we can't engage in arguments. We have to have respect to be able to be in an argument with someone. They have to respect you. You have to respect them. And when we get involved in fiery discussions and someone doesn't respect you, it's futile. You might as well stop and end. And if someone does not respect you and they're really triggered and they engage in demeaning behavior, get off the phone or end the conversation and, leave the relationship if the behavior doesn't change. So, okay, let's see what else. So part of this work involves self-love. It is my favorite thing, and it is the cornerstone of my work. When we lovingly respect and accept ourselves, our relationships improve. We respect ourselves. We also trust our gut, and it's easier for us to speak our truth and say, this isn't working for me, and I don't want to be a part of this. So excuse me, I'm going to go over here. Whatever it is, but you can do it in a kind and loving way. So if you have any questions, if you have any feedback, I'd love to hear it. We're going to chat about this. I have an article I'll be posting. I'm Jennifer Elizabeth Masters. I have a free download, an ebook that I put lots of time and energy in. It is a guide for manifesting. I am a wizard at manifesting, and I help people manifest all kinds of things, from houses to loves to, today I manifested a podcast with a shaman. So there's lots of things that we can manifest, and self-love is the pivotal piece in all of this and being happy with you. I'm Jennifer Elizabeth Masters. My website is jenniferelizabethmasters.com. I'd love for you to share this with your friends. If you've enjoyed it, thank you so much. Please do post below. I would love to hear your comments, and much love. Thanks for watching.